When news became a profit center, I recall hearing Chris Wallace reflect on a profound shift in American journalism. His father, Mike Wallace, helped create 60 Minutes, one of the most successful investigative news programs in television history. It was groundbreaking journalism, well-researched, compelling, and often focused on exposing what was wrong. The program deserved its success, yet its success may have carried unintended consequences. For much of the 20th century, news divisions were often viewed as a public service. They informed citizens, helped sustain democracy, and were not expected to be major profit centers. But when media executives saw that news could attract large audiences and generate substantial revenue, everything began to change. The formula was simple. Conflict captures attention. Fear captures attention. Scandal captures attention. Human beings are naturally drawn toward perceived threats. Our survival instincts demand it. The result was an industry increasingly rewarded for keeping audiences worried, angry, and emotionally engaged. As competition intensified, news became less about helping citizens understand the world and more about holding their attention. Ratings became king, advertisers followed, political campaigns followed, money flowed. The collateral damage has been significant. Today, a relatively small number of corporations control much of the media landscape. Political campaigns spend billions of dollars on advertising, much of it flowing directly into media companies. Citizens are inundated with an endless stream of commercials, political messaging, outrage, and commentary. We are told what to fear, who to blame, and why we should remain dissatisfied. This does not mean that investigative journalism is unimportant. Quite the opposite. A healthy democracy requires journalists willing to expose corruption, abuse, and injustice. The problem arises when the spotlight is aimed almost exclusively at what is broken. What if news organizations devoted equal energy to reporting what is working? What if they highlighted examples of communities solving problems, people bridging divisions, and ordinary citizens demonstrating courage, compassion, and stewardship? Recently, I was struck by a story about a couple who climbed the Empire State Building carrying a flag that read, "We will have peace when the love of power is overcome by the power of love." For a brief moment, the story pointed towards something larger than conflict. It invited reflection rather than outrage. Yet I couldn't help but wonder how many news organizations would focus less on the message and more on the violation of law, the controversy, and the punishment. That is the difference between journalism that informs and journalism that merely stimulates. The world certainly contains violence, corruption, and injustice, but it also contains generosity, cooperation, creativity, healing, and love. When we focus exclusively on one side of reality, we distort the whole picture. The media often reminds us what is wrong. Perhaps it is time to spend more attention on what is right. Not because we should ignore our problems, but because we become what we repeatedly attend to. A healthy society needs awareness of both the dangers that threaten us and the possibilities that inspire us. The future of journalism may depend upon rediscovering that balance.